Well, good morning. You and I, we make this beloved circle whole. So come join in. We've been waiting for you. Let's begin in love and openness to grow. Let's rise in body or in spirit and follow the spiral in. Today, we focus our minds and hearts on making things right, especially having hard conversations. So Zoe's going to lead us in with Love Will Guide Us. Here we go.
Love will guide us, peace has guide us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love.
And now let us light the flame of our faith, and Jack will lead us. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. To practice our caring awareness today, we're going to focus on our gratitude. And the symbol that we use for this practice has a big giant opening in the beginning, and it comes to a point, and it's called serve. That's because we gather in all that we have, just like a chalice gathers fuel. And resourced, we can point all of that into the world to create that light and warmth and the power of our faith in the world to make a difference, right? So first, let us gather in all that we are grateful for today. You can do this by using your hands and making a simple chalice cup, or you can do it with your whole body and make a big giant one like this. So you decide what's right for you. Ready? Here we go. So bringing in our attention and our awareness to all that is right now in our awareness. It could be the floor that your feet are on. It could be being grateful for a person who is with you or a friendship you have, your health. It could be anything in your space right now that you are grateful for and full of gratitude of. That's great. And the next part of it is being grateful for the beauty and grace of the natural world that is with us right now. So gathering that in, breathing in, and being grateful for our bodies, for the air we're breathing, for our connection to this planet Earth, that we are all together in this space, for the beauty of things we see, hear, know, or feel. Breathing that in and breathing out. And the third thing is to gather in our awareness of whatever needs are being met right now. The things that we have, that we've been given, that we can say we have our needs met for, because not all people have that. Bringing that in. So if you're holding your cup, to let it go out. And if you're holding your big arms like this, to point it out somewhere. That all our strength and power may be going out into the world to make a difference today. May it be so.
For our moment of inquiry today, I have a question for you to think about. Why is it important to take responsibility when our interdependent web is broken? To help you reflect on this question, I will share a story of my own. I had once gotten into a verbal fight with a girl in my class. She was pushing me away from my friends, so I decided to fight back. We had one big argument that became a huge deal, and we didn't talk for over a month. Even though she was the one who started the fight, I did not handle the fight the way I wanted to. I responded poorly to her treatment of me, and I am holding myself accountable for my poor response. It has been a couple years since that happened, and we have both admitted our mistakes to each other. Our interdependent web is now connected again.
Well, thank you so much, Maya, for bringing your direct experience to us to teach us and remind us about how we can respond in a conversation when there's conflict or something we would rather push away, but actually, if we have that capacity to just work through it together, how much better and how much less pain and suffering there can be in the world. Making things right is also the focus of this story from the Bible. Maya's sister Kala will be telling it to us, and it's about a man who takes accountability. That means he takes responsibility for things that he was doing that were not right. And here it is.
Zacchaeus was a tax collector, and a very rich one too. Tax collectors were hated because many people thought they were liars and cheaters. Zacchaeus lived in Jericho, and one day Jesus decided to pass through. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus, but he was too short behind the crowd. So he climbed a tree to see Jesus from above. Jesus noticed Zacchaeus and said,
"Hello, Zacchaeus. I must stay at your house tonight."
Zacchaeus climbed down, for he was happy to have Jesus staying in his own home.
Ugh, of all the people Jesus decides to stay with, why Zacchaeus? He's a sinner. I will give half of my money to the poor, and if I have cheated anyone out of anything, I will pay them back 4 times the amount. Salvation has come to this house today.
Yeah. Now, the thing I so much love about this story is that Zacchaeus takes full accountability of his own behavior right away. He doesn't get defensive. He doesn't argue. He just says, I'm going to make things right. Here's what I've done wrong, and here's what I'm going to do to make things right. So it's that quality of having a difficult conversation that Jesus was inviting in this story. He was going to have a difficult conversation to make things right and have him stop stealing from people and charging them all that money. So right now, I'm going to ask you to do something a little different. I'm going to invite you to, in whatever space that you're in, to see if you can find some broken things. Just like in the story, Zacchaeus' relationship with other people was broken out of his greed. What other things in your actual physical environment could you put together to make a little sculpture or a little reminder of brokenness? It could be something that somebody else broke. It could be something that's not working anymore. It could be something that is really disconnected in some way from the care it needs. So I'm going to invite you right now to make a sculpture of brokenness. And I'll give you a little bit of time and I'll show you. Here's mine. Okay. So now I'm going to invite you to pause and I'm going to ask you to have a conversation. One of the things that we've learned in our country this past week is that it's been very difficult for people to have conversations and make things right over time. Not just on Wednesday when we have a mob taking over our Capitol building. It's not just about that. It's about a long history of people not actually dealing with the brokenness right in front of them. Yeah. So as you look at your sculpture, you can talk about that. You could also talk about the things in the world that have been broken for a very long time, especially the idea that white people have more privilege, have more power than other people. What do you care about in terms of that brokenness in the world? So I invited Barb DeLeo to come visit us today to give witness to her position. Barb serves on the board of the entire UUA, which is a body that lifts up or nurtures all of our congregations.
Last June, I was invited to join a national board of directors. This group does important, interesting, and challenging work leading our Unitarian Universalist Association. Some of the work is determined by decisions and actions taken by others, many who are long since dead. Some of those decisions, made over 200 years ago, had a devastating effect then and a continuing effect now. Do you remember what was happening in the United States in the 1800s? Every time our group works together, we learn more and appreciate more about the positives and negatives of our long history. This year, we committed to being accountable for the harmful actions and decisions inherited in our UU story. We are focused on repairing and healing what is broken and breaking down the barricades that discourage UUs from sharing their gifts. We are leaning into our past by carefully testing our present decisions. We try to feel which another experiences, and we are paying attention to whose needs are considered and whose needs are affected by our choices. We envision an inclusive, diverse, and equitable world, and we are creating a new way by holding each other accountable.
Before we spiral out, we're going to have a responsive affirmation, and that means that Anna is going to share something with us, and we are going to respond with,
Here is a place to forgive and be forgiven. For those we have hurt in any way, whether through thoughts or words or deeds. Here is a place to forgive and be forgiven. For the excuses we have made just to be right. Here is a place to forgive and be forgiven. For the blame we have placed on someone else again and again. Here is a place to forgive and be forgiven. For passing up the opportunity to help because we were afraid. Here is a place to forgive and be forgiven. For hiding the truth from someone. Here is a place to forgive and be forgiven. For working past the anger and resentment. Here is a place to forgive and be forgiven. For the times I have not felt heard. Here is a place to forgive and be forgiven. Forgiveness is never easy, whether for yourself or someone else. Here is a place to forgive and be forgiven.
Great big love from church. I will see you next time. Zoe's going to lead us out of our spiral, wishing you all so much love, so much safety, and to be able to have hard conversations as we continue to nurture the love and equity and hope that we see in the world as you use. Bye for now.